Hey, this is VIP Primo, and recently a video came out called Tuners and Outlaws. It was made by a video editor by the name of GTA Wise Guy. It is a very awesome video, and if you haven't had a chance to look at it, please do. I'm going to put a link to it in the comments below. What I wanted to go over, not just the idea that this is a video that fooled a lot of people into thinking that it was actually going to come out, but the reason that they were basically fooled was because it was something that a lot of people would want, and that is very poignant to saying something to GTA. Is we're trying to get together and say things to Rockstar about what we want, and the message is somehow getting lost in translation. So with the updates that have come out, some of them kind of felt disconnected from what we wanted as players, and we saw that change when the biker DLC came out. We were really into something that gave us more to do, even with kind of the CEO thing that is not something that we want with the free owned activity stuff. I hate to tell Rockstar this, but we don't want to work in a video game. If we want to work, we'll go get a job, and then we'll have this job, and that'll pay our bills. But going and doing work the way they have the CEO thing is just not fun to us. If you made a single player game that was like this content, we wouldn't play it. So my comment first and foremost to Rockstar is, if you're going to make something for online, make it like it is in single player. That's why we loved Heist so much. Not that Heist had great payouts, but because Heist told a story. And the thing that Heist did was they didn't tell enough of a story. We need to be involved in it. Even if we're skipping cutscenes, we're still involved in it. So, but to get back to this Tuner and Outlaw thing, one of the things that we love is going to obviously be the content and a story behind the content, and something that has depth and feel, which this video definitely did. So what I want to tell Rockstar is basically how to implement this, and kind of teach you guys how to have some way of implementing it while we're waiting for GTA. So the first thing is they went over some free mode car show application where basically people can have their cars around and players can vote for them. This is something you can already do in the game. You can simply point to a car, and then you have people text message their vote. I usually have it on a 1 to 10 scale, so that gives you a lot of leeway for a 30-room player base. So if we were to implement a car show thing, it would be similar to an impromptu race where one person was the leader, they put a thing out, and then everybody just put in their number based on the car. It would probably be more work. So right now you can use the texting method using the in-game phone and text people votes just like you're seeing here. The second thing is drag racing. And drag racing, I've run over it a lot of different ways. The fun part of this is that we kind of have this drag racing thing already in the impromptu racing setup. The problem is Rockstar didn't do it in a way so that we could minimize the zone where you can actually race. So Rockstar, do us a favor, leave that impromptu racing in there, and then put that shorter distance so that we can do drag racing while using the impromptu racing thing. It has to be a quarter mile. The second thing is that there are a ton of games out there that have drag racing modes in them. And if you just want to make it as an adversary mode, or if you wanted to make it another version of racing so it has its own little subset like stunt racing does, I don't think anybody's going to argue and say that it's something that we don't need. We have to have drag racing in this game. It's just part and parcel of so many games out there that has cars in it. And coming retroactively thinking about it, I can see why Rockstar forgot it. But we're at that point now, I think, that we've evolved enough that let's put the drag racing in there. And if you're going to do drag racing, then have it so that it has an option for manual shifting, for shift point controls, and the idea that nitrous is in it. and you have to be able to use your custom cars. However they want to do this, fine. I'm going to suggest doing a drag race mode, so it'll be, you know, adversary racing, missions, and drag racing, and we can do it that way, and it'll be easy. The next one is police pursuits. My suggestion is there's two ways to do it. Obviously, we want to use our custom cars, so set it up in racing. We have two groups of players. The first players are the racers, and the second group of players are the police. And you can choose your role similar to the way rally is, and then have it so that if the police car pops another car, that they disable them, and that way the police can get points similar to the way the racers gets points, because the police are not going to get global points based on their last position, while the racers still will. And that would be a fun way of doing it. The other option you have is obviously like a hot pursuit mode. I'm just going to call it like it is. Need for Speed had Hot Pursuit, and Hot Pursuit was a game that put them on the map because it had the ability for cops to be involved in the chases, and they would escalate as they went along, so you get a harder and harder person chasing you down. And this used a sort of catch-up feature that could be used to the cops could catch up so that it could be more balanced, but then the cops are NPC characters. Either way that works is fine, and the functionality is there. We have different escalations of police vehicles. We have in chases, they put down spike strips and things of that nature to make it more difficult for the players. The other thing is, if you're going to do that mode, let's not limit it to super sports, muscles, whatever. Just make a global mode so that you can have any car that you want to race against the police, because the goal of it is not just to win. So since we're waiting on that police pursuit option, what options do you have? Each mode has a one vehicle that would be considered a police vehicle. The Vapid Stanier is a good version. The Buffalo is a good version. And the way you do it is that the top guys who are racing are able to choose any vehicle they want, and the people who are playing the police play that one police-oriented vehicle. Turn catch-up on and turn your customs off. That'll keep everything a little bit more balanced. When we did the testing with it, we noticed that the police were a little bit slower, which is great because the top guys that are going to try to outrun you need to be able to be a little bit faster and more competitive. They need to be able to have a chance to win. If you're faster than they are, even with catch-up function on, then it's just going to be the cops winning all the time or the racers winning all the time. The last thing is make sure you have traffic on, because if we're going to have a real police chase, then it has to be in traffic. So there's where you can actually play a police pursuit mode now with your race setup and actually do what you guys are asking for. So some of this stuff is going to be a little bit just creative thinking. The last one, I know a lot of us have had the discussion about drifting, and some people will just say there is no drifting in GTA, or at least traditionally. We'll say that there is no variation of drifting, that the physics are not there for it. And I'm not going to disagree with those guys. The idea that drifting in GTA is a tough pill to swallow is one that's just that. It's not something that we all have. It's something that we kind of fight for. So if we did that, it would have to be its own mode. It would have to be a car specifically set up for drifting, that it wouldn't be customized cars. It would just be a car mode, and people would drive through their little area and do their drifting and stuff. If GTA wanted to do that, fine. I personally think that it's not a mode that you're ever going to get because of the physics side of it. There's too much reprogramming. There's too much new thought that would have to go into that for you guys to have that. So my thing is, and it's disappointing, but we're going to have to put drifting on the back shelf, at least for now, and maybe that's something that's going to be available in GTA 6. So that's my commentary so far. A lot of it's very over-scoping. Some of it you guys can already do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any input, put it in the comments below, and we will see you later. That, oh, Rockstar can't do it because they have microtransactions, and microtransactions equal money. So if you gamble in the casino, that you